Good morning. We're going to be making some cookies today. Hey friends, so I'm not quite sure what I did. I somehow didn't hit record and missed filming mixing up almost all of the dry ingredients. So I'm making my favorite eggnog cookies. These go super fast, so I'm making a double batch of them to hopefully have enough to get through Christmas Eve at least this year. So real quick, what's going to be, in here I have, because I've doubled it, it's 4.5 cups of flour. I'm going to put in 4 teaspoons of baking powder in just a second. I have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of cinnamon in here. And then for the wet ingredients, I have 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 3 sticks, so 1.5 cups of butter, 4 egg yolks, 1 cup of eggnog. We're going to be using 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and I use 1 teaspoon of rum in this double batch. It will cook off mostly, and it's just a small amount, especially it's 1 teaspoon for about, should be somewhere around 60 cookies. So if you want, you can use rum extract if you're not okay with just putting rum into your cookie, but I'm going to use the actual rum. Okay, so let's add this baking powder. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a recipe I found online. I believe it was from cookingclassy.com, I believe is what I wrote down here. Last time I tried to go to the website, there was something bad happening with it, so I'm not sure. Get a virus guard protector up on your computer or something before you go access that website. But it has been a couple years since I've accessed it, so maybe everything's fixed. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, just gonna whisk that together. All right, and for the flour, I spooned and leveled it in. So I mixed up the top level of flour with the whisk to make sure it was nice and fluffy, and then I spooned and leveled it into my measuring cup to make sure we didn't overpack it. Okay, and the brown sugar, of course, is packed this time. All right. So now we're just going to start over here with the wet ingredients. Got my beautiful KitchenAid stand mixer. It is not quite showing up the right color on this lighting. But so we're going to add, I have my paddle attachment all ready to go. I'm going to add in the butter. Ooh. Okay. This is my little baking rack. I got a whole bunch of spices up here. My teas, my molasses, my honey. That is where I keep my recipes, my little recipe box. My mother-in-law made it for me. We get some brown sugar. Get some chocolate chips back there, because hopefully I'll be making chocolate chip cookies before Christmas. Okay. The butter in at the bottom. There. Okay. Add in our white sugar. Unnecessary loudness. My God. I'm sorry. And in goes the packed brown sugar. Alright, so close that down. Right. Make it a little easier on my poor mixer. It works so hard for me. The least I can do is make it easy on it. Alright, reach behind and lock it. Start it on low. We're going to cream. So we are creaming together the butter and the sugars. Just gonna let that go for a couple minutes until it's nice and fluffy. I might turn it up a little bit. Okay, so I have that mixing about level 4, so just around medium speed. I like this paddle attachment because it does help scrape down the sides of the bowl on its own. Alright, so that's about the texture I'm looking for. Just gonna help it scrape down before I start adding the egg yolks in. I'm gonna add the egg yolks in one at a time. And I save my egg whites because I'm gonna make meringue cookies out of it. They're actually super simple. Don't let the meringue intimidate you. I promise you, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, I have this back on low. I'm just going to add in my egg yolks one at a time. Come on, you. One. Oh. That's okay. 2 at a time is fine. It's easier if you use a measuring cup. I don't know. I thought I'd look cool today, I guess. Mixing until they're just combined. And there we go with that. And it's time to add in our cup of eggnog. I don't want to splatter back up at me, so I'm trying to pour it a little slower. My instinct is to just dump it in because I'm impatient, but I've learned the hard way many times. Take your time. Eventually it's sunk in. Alright, so just gonna let that mix. And I'm going to go grab my teaspoon to add my vanilla and my rum. Just 1 teaspoon, plus a little extra for love. 2 teaspoons, a little extra for love. Vanilla's the one thing in baking that you measure with your heart. You measure vanilla with your heart. And, woo, strong. 1 teaspoon of rum. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, so I'm just going to bring down the sides. Okay, I'm going to add in the dry ingredients. I'm going to add about half. Spilled some more. Having a day today. So we added about half. Just gonna stir it on low. Let that incorporate a little bit. half. That back down. Lock it this time because we're not picking it back up again for a minute. Oh, whoa. Oopsie. And we're mixing until it's just combined, so this should be quick. All right. That dough is set. I have made just a little mess. Just a little one. It's probably because I did a double batch. And yeah, so I'm gonna take this off, cover it, and just let it chill in the fridge until later tonight when my husband comes home and he can watch the baby, and then I can spend the time baking it. So I will get back to you later on tonight. Alright, I am back. My oven is preheating to 350 degrees. I have my baking sheets out, silicone mats down, and I'm ready to start scooping away. Okay, so I have my first round done. Pro tip that I just learned, let this dough warm up if you put it in the fridge. Because, my God, it was like scooping ice cream almost. So, this is ready. My oven has preheated. I'm going to put the cookies in. I only do one tray at a time because otherwise it doesn't cook as evenly and it takes a little longer. The bottom row always ends up taking longer to cook than the top row. So you should cook these for about 11 to 13 minutes. I'm going for the full 13 because my oven does tend to run a little on the cooler side. It tends to take a little longer for things to bake in here. And also the dough is so chilly that we're going to start at 13 and then just take a quick peek at them to see if they're actually ready. All right. Okay, so this has been about 14 minutes. And they are looking beautiful. Go ahead. Pull them out. Put them on the stove. Oh, look at how nice and poofy they are. Alright, I'm just going to let them sit on this mat for a minute or two because they are very, very soft and I want them to be able to maintain their shape when I move them. And I'm just going to switch them right over to the cooling rack there. So I just opened my last box of powdered sugar because I'm trying to measure out the frosting right now. And the box was sealed, but the bag inside was open. And I just can't trust it. And I really don't want to ask my husband to go back to the store again. So I have enough for one batch of frosting. I already got the butter sticks in there. I could fish the butter sticks out, one of them, and just do a half batch of frosting and just be a little skimpy on the frosting, but I'm annoyed right now. Okay, so we rallied, we got our stuff together. We have 1 stick, half a cup of butter, 3 cups of powdered sugar. We're going to measure out 3 to 5 tablespoons of eggnog and a little half teaspoon of rum again. Just because I like the flavor. Okay, so we're going to whip that butter up nice and fluffy. Still baking out our cookies. Okay, so that butter's looking pretty good. Just gonna dump the powdered sugar in. Gonna start it on low, because I know better now. Took me a couple tries to learn that trick. Don't just put it on high, because then the powdered sugar will get angry at you and go everywhere. Okay, we're going to mix in our eggnog. Let's start with 3 tablespoons and see how the consistency is looking. I'm going to add in another half tablespoon. Okay, we had a little spillage with the rum again, but it's in there. So that texture is looking pretty good to me. Give it just a little taste. It's pretty good. There we go, we got our eggnog frosting. It's not as much as I had hoped, but you know, I'll get at least half the cookies frosted. Alright, so there we are. Working on a couple more. Got my little spatula. My almost empty bowl of frosting. The frosting almost went on all the cookies. We almost stretched it. Hopefully next year I'll be able to make enough frosting. But final touch, just a little bit of ground nutmeg. And there we are. Eggnog cookies with an eggnog frosting. This is my mother's personal favorite, so I had to make sure I at least got these done this year for her. Alright, so coming up I got a cheesecake video. Hopefully gonna make some chocolate chip cookies. We'll see what I can pull together, and I'm definitely gonna be making a pumpkin pie so I can film that for you guys. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment with any suggestions, and hit that like button. Bye, guys!